Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my next Avengers reaction. It is time for Double Danger. If you are new here, my name is Marie-Clare. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd firstly just like to say that I'm currently suffering from I don't like that word. I currently have a double ear infection, hence why I actually look like the deaf. So if I'm shouting, I'm sorry. At the moment, it feels like my head is underwater just because I've got that spray as well, antibiotics. So I just apologise for this. I haven't been well enough to film, but I'm away from Thursday because it's Adam's birthday. So I wanted to get something filmed. I'm going to try and film something else after this, but I don't have anything short now. Like before, if I had Sapphire and Steel, classic Doctor Who, the Sarah Jane Adventures, I had like a 25-minute episode, but I don't have anything like that anymore. So we'll see how my ears are with this, and then I'm going to try and film something else because I don't like you guys not having something. So I've gone for the Avengers because it's short. I'll go from there, but I'd like to get something else filmed today. So yeah, if I'm shouting, because I can hear myself like internally, if that makes sense, as if I'm underwater, so I don't know what I'm projecting. So hopefully it's not too bad. And I also may have to turn the volume up because I can't hear. So we've got one more recon after this, then an episode, which is very, very exciting. I still feel like even with these recons, I am forming a bond with Steed and Keel. That may be because I've had a couple of episodes now, but I do, and maybe because of the audios, but I do feel like I'm getting to grips now with the Avengers, and I feel like I'm finding my flow a little bit, which is really, really lovely. So, yeah, let's go. Depending on the length again, I've just been putting the full length on. I put last time's full length, Death on the Slipway. I put Death on the Slipway out on YouTube full length because it was like 6 minutes, so there was no point me editing it. I'm hoping this one's a little bit longer. This on the recons, it says Double Danger brackets, aka Confessions of a Dead Man. 18 minutes, okay. Now we've got to jump. So I will be editing this one down for YouTube because it's 18 minutes. But I'll put the full length on Patreon.
Waiting nervously outside a London prison, two men, Mark Crawford and Harry Dew, are engineering the escape of the jewel thief Ted Mace. The prisoner clambers down a rope and is bundled into the back of their car, which screeches off. Double danger. They snatch Mace, shoot at the tires of Dew's car, and speed off with their hostage in the back seat. With his transport now useless, Crawford opens fire on the vehicle as it disappears. After hours in his surgery, Dr. David Keel is visited by a woman in distress. Her husband has cut himself badly on broken glass at their home in Palmer's Drive. She tells Keel her name is Mrs. Marsden.
No, she's part of it.
She has a car to drive him there. The woman is called Lola Carrington, not Marsden. They are most certainly not on Palmer's Drive. But there is a patient. Brady, who appears to be the ringleader, gestures to a prone figure on a bed. "There's your patient, Doctor. I'm afraid he stopped a bullet," he says dispassionately, clasping an automatic pistol. The patient is Mace. The escaped prisoner Keel examines him and warns him that unless the bullet is removed soon, he will not survive. Brady orders
These
Keel
pictures
to
look very
operate
clear
with
this time
whatever he has to hand.
compared to some of them we've had.
Keel demands proper equipment. At the bottom, he inquires. "It's not English." "Phonum equus. It's Latin, the name of a sterilizing solution," says Keel. Brady relents and has Mills deliver the note to Carol. He must tell her that Keel will be back late and that she need not wait for him. Meanwhile, in the back room of a Soho pawnbroker's, Crawford and Dew are worried. They fear their boss will be angry when he learns they have lost Mace. The shop bell rings. The boss has arrived. "Where's Mace?" asks a familiar voice. It is Steed. Dew and Crawford explain that they had him but were intercepted, and that they don't know where Mace is now. Steed is not at all happy. He has his suspicions regarding the identity of the
He
rival
gets
gang
everywhere,
and
Steed.
sets out to locate Mace. Mills departs and Carol attempts to call Steed, but he is out. She replaces the receiver. She is worried. Meanwhile, Leonard Bruton, a stout middle-aged man, is also making a call. He questions Brady about Mace's condition. "He's got to recover, long enough to tell us what we want to know," says Bruton. He tells Brady that the doctor must be eliminated as soon as Mace talks. "If he dies, you'll find yourself in the river with him."
Take him to a hospital then.
Back at the surgery, Carol receives a visit from Steed. She explains that Keel is missing and in danger and hands him Keel's note. Steed reads it. "Phonum equus?" "Hardly Herodotus. Equus means horse," he remarks. "Or steed," Carol interjects. "And phonum isn't a Latin word at all. Don't you see? Phone, steed."
Now I got
Carol
it.
reveals she has discovered the woman who came to the surgery, gave a false name and address, and is sure the items on the list would be useless for treating cuts. After a short while, Mace stirs, and Lola goes to find Brady. Mace, painfully, whispers to Keel, the plot. It's John Bartholomew's plot." His head falls back. Ted Mace is dead. Later, Mills returns to the houseboat, unaware that Steed is in close pursuit. On board, Keel has grabbed Lola's handgun, but Mills hits him from behind with a chair. Brady disarms Keel and threatens to kill him. Brady fires off a couple of parting shots, but Keel dives for cover and is not injured. As they recover their wits, Steed takes a look at the dead body. He recognizes the face. "I arranged to get him out of jail a few hours ago. Seems I've done him a bad turn," Steed comments regretfully. Steed has been acting for an insurance company. Mace had been jailed for the theft of £200,000 worth of uncut diamonds from the Hatton Garden jewellers, Lowenstein and Bruton. The diamonds are still missing, and Mace was the only lead.
That plot is where they are then,
Keel
where he said.
reveals the dead man's last words about it being John Bartholomew's plot. Meanwhile, Brady attempts to explain his failure to Bruton, who is less than impressed. Brady reveals that there is still a chance to recover the diamonds. He believes the doctor knows something. Steed and Keel leave once the police arrive at the houseboat, but are trailed by Mills. Steed drops Keel at the surgery and takes a late-night drive to a cottage that the Maces once rented. Next door, he meets the owner, an elderly man who confesses he was glad when the Maces left. He also recalls a letter delivered recently addressed to a Lola somebody, which he had returned unknown. Outside, Mills trains his gun sight on Steed. A parlour window shatters. The shot nearly grazes Steed's forehead. He
God.
mouths a quick apology and prompts his host for his name. "Bartholomew," the old man confirms, as Steed runs out of the cottage after Mills. The telephone rings. It is Brady. "We've got your receptionist. She's unarmed, but if you want her to stay that way, you'd better tell me what Mace said before he died," says Brady. Keel tells him what he wants to know. Steed promises to find Carol and call as soon as he can. Brady now tells Bruton of Mace's dying words, but the big man can shed no light upon them. He warns Brady not to try to obtain the diamond haul for himself. At the pawnbrokers, Crawford and Dew report back to Steed. They have traced Lola Carrington, the estranged Mrs. Ted Mace. Steed tells them to pick her up and bring her to the pawn shop. Carol is being held at a rundown lock-up garage. Brady and Mills think Keel may have told her.
I still think
about
poor Carol getting dragged into all of this.
And prepare to interrogate her. Later, Steed and Keel arrive at the pawn shop where they find Crawford, Dew, and Lola, who they have picked up. Steed presses her for information on Carol's whereabouts, but she is decidedly uncooperative. When Steed threatens her with a stay in the shop's rat-infested cellar, she relents and makes a deal. She will help if she is protected from Brady. Back at the lockup, Mills has bad news for Brady. Carol has escaped. He received a telephone call from Bruton calling him away. When he got back, the girl was gone. They realize that Bruton has double-crossed them and is behind Carol's escape. It's almost as complicated as politics. Brady and Mills tie up Steed, Keel, and Lola and leave them at the back of the garage. They plan to start up the engine of an old car, lock the doors, and leave them to die of carbon monoxide.
What a lovely way to go.
Meanwhile, Bruton is tending to Carol at his home. It slowly dawns on her that she has traded the frying pan for the fire. Bruton questions her about Bartholomew. Fearing for her safety, she throws her hot cup of tea in his face and beats a hasty retreat. Back in the lockup, Lola overhears Brady and Mills discussing who Bartholomew might be. She tells them Bartholomew was her and Ted's landlord and gives Brady the address. Brady pays a surprise visit to Bruton. At gunpoint, the jeweler pleads for his life and offers a 75% cut. Brady is unmoved and shoots Bruton dead. He wants the full 100. Meanwhile, Carol arrives back at the surgery in a taxi. She is shocked to find Mills waiting for her. He means to shoot her, but is disturbed by the taxi driver, who overpowers him. Mills escapes. The taxi driver comforts Carol and offers to take her to the police. In the garage, Lola has fainted. Keel manages to loosen Steed's bindings. Steed and Keel recover and set off for the country, bundling the unconscious Lola on the back seat of the car. Steed fears that Bartholomew's life is in danger. Brady has arrived and searched Bartholomew's cottages and has found no sign of the diamonds.
Bartholomew's plot. Has he got an allotment?
Bartholomew, but the old man turns out to be no pushover.
Or a story?
He tells Brady that he is too old to be frightened of death. It'll be nice to be with Gladys. She's been gone these last 15 years. Go on, Sonny. Use it. Everything's took care of. Or paid for. Not a penny owing. It's just our plot. Waiting for me. Brady's eyes light up. John Bartholomew's plot. Before long, he and Mills have found the grave of Bartholomew's wife and start digging. They soon unearth a rusted tin containing the diamonds.
Very
Suddenly,
clever.
a voice punctures the night air. It is Steed's. I'll take those, Brady. He has a gun. With Steed in control of the situation, Keel goes off to the cottage.
Well, the others don't have their gun on them.
Leaving an umbrella for his friend as the rain starts to fall. Mills moves to seek cover from the downpour. Steed motions for him to stay right where he is. But it's raining, pleads Mills. Steed looks on, amused, sheltered from the rain by his umbrella. Thank you for that information, he says archly, but I find this keeps me quite dry.
I much preferred that narrator, Leonard White. I just felt a bit more engaged compared to the other person that we have. So that definitely helps me stay a bit more attentive. 18 minutes we had. I really enjoyed that, actually. I do think that's, this is probably going to sound obvious, but I feel like that's one of the episodes that would I have needed to see it? No, I just would have liked to have seen the actual episode because I liked the story. And I think there's also another element of danger added in when Carol's kind of pulled into it. And during that, I started thinking about the first episode and thinking about how, like, what Keel has already been through with losing his, were they fiancés? But like, I suddenly remembered like what he's already been through, and it was awful. Really clever. His, what was it? Phonum equus. Equus. I had guessed what it was, and I thought that was really, really clever. I don't know, I really like Steed and Keel together. I like that Steed just turns up in these places because he's obviously just been told where to go, or, you know, they're tracking all these different people. Steed's boss, 110? Is that correct? So that's Steed's, like, top dog. I had a great time watching that, and again, having that little bit more time with it. Some of the pictures were a lot clearer than we've had previously, so again, that really just helps with kind of being able to gauge what's going on. I would say the only thing I do still struggle with is differentiating different characters, particularly, for example, in that one, there was a lot of, I find that there's a lot of, this could just be me, but there's a lot of males that look very similar. So sometimes when that's happening on a recon, I'm finding it a bit harder. But also it happens in an episode if the quality isn't that good, just trying to pick out the features of different people. But that will only get better, won't it, over time? But yeah, I really enjoyed that. The next one is Toy Trap. I love the name of that, Toy Trap. Then we've got The Tunnel of Fear, which is an episode. Then a recon, then a recon, then a recon, then a recon. Oh god, then a recon, then a recon. Because I don't think I can watch the next James Bond until I've finished this first series. So I need to crack on a bit with that, actually, because I'm having a great time watching James Bond. I really hope you enjoyed. Again, apologies if I'm shouting or that was too loud. I have no idea, and I won't even know because I'm going to edit this today, so I won't even know if it's loud. And I will see you very soon for my next reaction.